Not that we followed it in weeks.
Well, you've had
This is Sizzle, powered by Fit to Be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End Broadcasting. Want to be part of the 30 or 60-day transformation? Contact Sizzle on any of our social media platforms at Fit to Be Trained. Here's your host of Sizzling, Karen Dougherty.
Snaps.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, there it is. Me and Alyssa kind of missed the clap track last week, but then Steve went and got it for us. I've got another guest tonight, and I'm excited because she's one of my best friends, so I'm excited always to talk to her. But what happened is I've had her on a couple times, and this is my pal and friend Sheridan. We call her Sherry. Woo! And I love her dearly, and everybody knows that. But what happened is the second time I had Sherry on, the first 24 minutes got messed up. We had like a storm here. I know. I can't remember what happened, but
You're a pro, Steve.
it was spring, so it probably was like one of our famous. But anyway, it was 24 minutes of the blood type diet. And it was kind of funny because so many people were interested in that particular podcast. So, because a lot of people are interested in the blood type diet, it's interesting. And I don't like anything with the word diet in it, first of all. And but this is the one food regimen that I actually believe in. So I'm interested in it too. And my pal Sheridan has known about it for a million years and introduced it to me years ago. And that was when when I say years, I mean like 2015,
More.
maybe, Sherry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's so embarrassing. Yeah. And here's me like, yeah. Pick weight up, put it down. Let's do Pilates. Yeah, like I never cared about food. I ate really well through my whole life, to be completely honest. I really did, but I didn't really study it. I was always doing other things, and Sherry was into it. And quite frankly, I could always rely on you. You know, I could ask you stuff and you'd tell me. So I was actually the lazy one that just didn't need to study nutrition because I had you. So thank you so much for coming back on, because this is your third time on the Sizzling show. Thank you.
2.5 times if we count the half show.
Yeah, because I actually aired it. I aired it, even though it was cut, because that was such an interesting night. All three of us were together too. And we got to the second half of the stuff, and I looked up my notes here. And we got to the second half of the stuff, and that was interesting too. That was about food vibration. If you recall, I will get y'all's memories going. Steve, I even have notes here for you, but they're small. He's going to be like, I don't want, damn, they're too little. Sizzle. But so I'm going to shut my mouth because I love to talk too much. That's why I got a podcast. And I am going to turn this over to you. But what I will do is start it off a little bit by introducing you as my friend Sherry from Minnesota. And it sounds very unprofessional because it kind of is. Like, she's not on here trying to pitch a business or anything like that. Just a really great friend of mine, and always has been kind of a guide for me for nutrition. she's been on the podcast 3 times, like I mentioned. So you're more than welcome to listen to one of the earlier ones and you'll hear who she is, what her story is. Because I want to start having guests on again so they don't have to go through their story and can talk about stuff they're passionate about. We can get right into it. So listeners, if you haven't already listened to episode, I'm not sure what number it is, but there's a couple of them, and you can hear about, she's a bodybuilder. She's been an athlete her whole life. She's taught martial arts, gymnastics, so has a lot of accolades under her belt. But we're not even here for that. We're here for her knowledge, for nutrition, and Sherry's always been ahead of the game for that. And because of that, I've always been able to be lazy and not study myself. And just call my pal when I need something. I have you and another girl, Karen, on speed dial. Karen was on this show too for nutrition.
Cool.
My gurus for nutrition.
Never
Well,
hear
it
that
does take a village. It does
Yeah.
take a village, doesn't it? You know, like
Yeah.
I've had so many coaches and trainers through my life for different, people are like, well, you're a trainer. What do you need a trainer for? What are you kidding me? I can tell you a list as long as my arm of why I need a trainer. I would have one all the time if I had the pocketbook for it.
Right.
I would love to, because you never stop learning in this industry. It constantly is changing. But I'm going to get into the blood type. What we did was blood type diet and the vibrancy of food. That's a cool word. And so the blood type diet, tell me about that. Like, let's start, because it really did get cut off, Sherry. Let's start from the very beginning.
Well, I am selling a sales pitch. It's a sales pitch to encourage everybody to be a little bit healthier in life. And it is a lifestyle. It's not a diet. So for me, I grew up, with the food pyramid. And it wasn't until I was in my 20s and I started bodybuilding. And I had a trainer. I got a trainer because I wanted to compete and I didn't know how to do that. And there was a long process in that and a lot involved. So I needed an expert in that area. And so the first thing he kind of asked me in our interview was what my blood type was. And I'll never forget how I learned. A lot of people don't know their blood type. I've asked, 95% of people don't know their blood type. And it's important to know that before you get into this diet. But at that time, I didn't understand why he was asking me that. I was 20. I was like, what do you want to know that for?
But I wouldn't know.
Yeah. In 8th grade, we had a science project and we had to prick our fingers with a metal rod and put it on a piece of paper. And I was scared to do it. So my 8th grade teacher, Kermit Christensen, he came over and jabbed that rod into my finger so hard and quick. And I'll never forget my blood type is my point. So, he asked me my blood type and based my entire diet for, bodybuilding on my blood type. And like I said, 20 years old, I had no idea. It wasn't until about 4 or 5 years later that I met this really cool chick. She said, I was personal training her, and she said to me, we were talking nutrition, and I was just kind of getting into it. It might have been earlier than that. I was probably, anyway, I digress. But she had handed me this book, Eating for Your Blood Type. And all of a sudden I had this aha moment, like, what? And so I started, I read the book, and I had already been eating that way. So I just continued to follow that diet. That's kind of
let's get into eating that way.
Okay. Well, okay. So we all know that we have a blood type, and there's different blood types. And one blood type is older than other blood types because of our transition or our journey through life. And and our ancestors' journey through life. And so this book was written by this neuropathic doctor named Peter Damo. And basically he said that your blood type is very specific to you. And a lot of it is when we put food in our body, it's like a chemical reaction. So, for instance, RH was the original blood type. That was said to be the very first blood type. And your blood type has a lot to do with your gut health and microbes and stuff like that. I'm getting too far into it, but so the original was RH. And we can go back. For me, it's my beginnings are Christianity. So I tend to think about Adam and Eve being the very first blood type. And then when they were set outside of Eden, they were forced to hunt and gather. And that's where the O blood type comes in. That's my blood type. I'm kind of an expert at that because I've been living my entire life eating this way. And then as we evolved as a civilization, we went from hunter-gatherer to farming. And then, more industrial farming. And now we're at, the Western diet of, whatever the food pyramid recommends, I guess. And so we've got the O blood type, we've got RH blood type, we've got O blood type, then A, then B, then AB. And each one of them has a different makeup and each person is different. So when you put food into your system, it causes a chemical reaction. Your blood is your lifeline. It's like the oil in a car. If you have brown crusty oil in there, your engine's not going to run as good as it is with good, clean, fresh oil, food, etc., so to speak. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I am RH negative, and not to make it about me, but I've always been fascinated by RH negative because I was always treated special. And who doesn't want to be treated special, right? But when I would go to the doctor, it was always like, oh, you'd hear them talk and, oh, RH negative. And then when I was pregnant with Ian, oh, you've got to get a shot because everything's very dramatic, RH negative. Yeah. But I didn't know anything about it. And I liked it. I always felt different anyway. I always have. And I was adopted. So I was always like, I'm an alien. I know I am. And then I was sure of it.
That's an alien blood type. You know that, right?
Yes. Well, it came out later. And if I didn't meet my birth mother, I would still think I was. Because I was always like, wow, because people always act mysterious about RH. Why is it so mysterious, Sherry? I think you could probably explain it a whole lot better than a lot of people I know. It's just original, right?
And it has a protein in it that the other blood types don't have in it. And you're right. Like when women are pregnant and they have RH blood, or if they have like RH negative and their baby has RH positive, because that's the RH is actually it's the type of protein that's usually found in the red blood cells. I had to make a note of that.
Wow, so cool. I never knew that. See, I'm RH negative. Go figure.
Yeah. So if Ian would have been RH positive, then that would pose a very dangerous situation for both of you because of that RH blood factor. And they don't know about a lot about it. It just has a different makeup than O and A and the modern blood types. So
the reason why we're killing, like you called the next generation, like the Adam. I'm sorry. Let's rewind. So then Adam and Eve go out of the garden and they start hunting and gathering. What is RH negative doing? Killing animals and what are we doing? We're hunting and gathering too. Or is RH negative the hunter gatherers? Then O came in because then
Well, think
people are
about what was in the
farming
Garden of Eden. Think about what they were eating in the
fruit.
Garden of Eden.
Right. I
Right.
don't recall
So
there
that's
being animals.
that's RH. That's the original RH blood type. And then as they traveled and had children, Shem, Ham, Seth, those their generations after them created the O blood type. As they, hunted and gathered, that blood type changed because the food changed.
So RH negative thrives, or RH. I shouldn't say
So
negative
it
or
comes
positive.
it comes from, one is concentrated from Europe between France and Spain. So that's kind of where the bloodline comes from originally.
Because
Is
the
it-
Garden of Eden, I think, is over. Is it? They say the
Yeah,
Garden of
Iraq.
Eden.
that would put it in that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So like when we joke about the aliens and stuff, which I don't know, I'm pretty honestly, I'm almost convinced of my own personal beliefs that we are some sort of,
Hybrid.
petri dish experiment. But the Nephilim, who were the fallen angels, they were the RH negatives when they decided that they liked the human women, and that's where the crossbreeding kind of became. And then the other theory is that the Anunnaki themselves, in the Book of Enoch, they were trying to crossbreed humans, trying to
That's
result
why
in
God
that
destroyed
negative
the earth.
RH negative blood type.
I just got chills.
Isn't that crazy? That's a good insight.
That's why we have to have open minds, people, because
And
you have to be able to hear everybody's opinion so you can learn.
And the 31 Atlas, I don't know if either of you know anything about that, do you?
Never even heard of
Do
it.
you, Sherry? Are you following that story?
31 Atlas?
Yeah. Yes. See,
tell.
it's amazing to me how many people have no idea what this is. So
People
31
don't even know what
Atlas.
chemtrails are, Steve.
Yeah. So 31
Don't get me
Atlas
started.
is the it's not a comet because it's not making comet movements. It's almost doing like
it's a planet. It's a
spaceship movements.
spaceship.
It's moving through by Mars right now, and it's going to circle around the sun, and they're wondering if it's going to come here or not. But there's a couple weird things. There's other like little ships next to it, so it's either like some alien on alien galactic war going on through our galaxy, or it perhaps is the Anunnaki themselves coming back here to so we're their experiment, but they don't want us to be a failed experiment. And what they're seeing right now, if you look around the world, I mean, basically no one's getting along. I mean, it's as bad as it can get on this planet right now at this point. So that's when they come back to interfere to make us all happy again and get along.
Really?
Yes.
And I'm RH negative, so y'all.
And honestly, so
I get to stick around.
So there's this lady on YouTube called Birdie, and she's a remote viewer. If you don't know what a remote viewer is, that is a capability that we all have within ourselves, to where we can interpret things that aren't around us. We can, for example, if you concentrate into a certain frequency in your brain wave, it's almost like you are, like how the cops would use a mind reader to find out where a body was, or who did a crime or something like that.
Oh, like a
that's
psychic.
a natural, psychics. So I mean, that's a natural ability that we all have. And if you can tap into the remote viewing, basically what you do is you sit there in front of a big pad and paper and you focus on it, and then you just start writing stuff out about what's going on.
Wow.
But this remote viewer Birdie has been doing 31 Atlas, and it's very fascinating. She don't know what it is when she gets the target, and she's just kind of making the stuff up out of her mind. And she described it basically to a T, that it was a spaceship and the lights that it was kind of giving off. And when she got down to the nuts and bolts of it, it was friendly and not evil, which is kind of the unknown question, but she answered that, at least in her own words. So Birdie is her name.
Birdie.
I'd have to look at it. I think it's Byrdie.
Okay. Okay, that makes
But
sense.
if you hit remote viewing, you should be able to find her videos, and it's beyond fascinating. She does the same project with a bunch of kids in Wilmington, North Carolina, and she says that the results that she got from them compared to her were astounding.
Well, what would kids have to do with?
Just remote viewing.
Oh,
themselves.
how they can write
Yeah,
and
yeah,
say things.
yeah,
I know, like little
yeah.
kids. I did it with Ian.
So
a lot
there's your
because I feel like
RH.
They can remember.
There's your RH lesson.
Interesting.
Today from this.
Thank you. I
Very,
knew this
very
would be a fun conversation. I told you. Okay, so
Well,
all
Steve,
right.
are
So
you
now we've
saying
got
that,
RH negative. I'm sorry. What were you saying, Sherry?
Steve, are you saying that it was RH negative until, or the blood type on Earth was RH until the fallen angels came and tainted it? Kind of.
So I think the originators of the RH negative were the Nephilim themselves.
Okay.
Or
Well, who's
it
that?
comes from, that is the fallen angels.
And have
Oh, so
you,
the fallen angels are
do you believe we have aliens, or do you believe the aliens are demons?
I don't believe that they are demons, actually. I hear
Okay.
that argument a lot. I
Yeah.
don't think that they are demons, although I do think evil exists in many, many forms on this planet.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, for
necessarily,
sure.
and I think there are evil extraterrestrials for sure, but there are definitely
Okay.
some who are more on our side or looking out for our greater good. And I think there is a conflict there amongst them.
If I
about how we
remember
feel.
correctly, there was a Anunnaki spaceship coming towards Earth in 2012, because I started storing food in Mylar bags. I have food in Mylar bags from
Oh,
2012 because they said the spaceship was coming and the shit was going to hit the fan and the world was going to end. So I'm curious to see if they actually, finally,
So-
land on the planet and fucking talk to us or something. 'Cause I'm sick
So
of this goalpost being moved, man. Let's just get
So
this
the
done.
Anunnaki are not evil. The Anunnaki are
Okay.
actually the great teachers. So they are not evil, but in the world of the internet and perception and the way that people have gone from not believing in UFOs or extraterrestrials at all to wow, there's so much out there now. I mean, there's so much video of unknown spacecraft or aircraft, UAPs or whatever you want to call it, and virtually every
Holograms.
abduction story that you hear from people who've been abducted are basically the same thing. I mean, these people don't know each other,
Right,
so
right.
it's hard to think that they're just kind of making this stuff about a thin air when they don't know each other, but they're all saying the same exact thing. So, but the Anunnaki are the great teachers, and they are by far not the benevolent, the evil ones. They are quite on our side, and I would say more than anything, they're the ones who want us to
Where
succeed.
does this
and
information
we
come
are,
from?
and we could be a byproduct of them. And so is written in ancient history and all of your,
Got it.
but and all your spiritual books, the Bible. I mean, so when you hear all these religions talk about the gods and how they came down from the skies and stuff like that, the question begs, well, who are these gods? And when you see stuff that makes no sense, like just the building of the pyramids, because
Right.
I don't care who you are, humans can't carry. I don't know how you can't
Lots
have
of
10,000
stuff.
humans
Yeah.
to pick up 50,000 pounds. It just doesn't work that way and take it uphill. It just doesn't. So, and
Steve,
just
you've never seen me lift a
hammers. What's that?
You've never seen me lift shit. I can.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
like an
exactly.
ant. I'm like an ant. You get a 10 of me
Yeah, she
around,
could
you'll be
build
able
a
to move barn.
pyramid by herself. She did the Peru. She was
rolled
the one who,
them
her
stones.
ancestors built that thing in Peru.
Well, there's all kinds of out of place technology as far as time dating goes. And we're finding like pieces of aluminum with a 10,000 year patina on them where we did not have any kind of alloys to make aluminum.
Right.
150 years ago, barely,
Yeah.
So
I
when
agree.
you
We were
find this
probably smarter back
50,000-year-old, when you have this 50,000-year-old piece of aluminum, what was here, There's a hammer in Texas. How about this? There's a hammer in Texas that's embedded in a rock, and it's a tool. It's a hammering tool, and the handle is so old that it's going through coalification, and the process it takes to do that from wood to turn to coal is about 140 million years.
Wow.
So what's a 140 million year hammer doing on the planet?
Yeah, right.
So it makes you wonder.
Makes
there
it
to
things
mystify
that make
us.
you go, All right, I got my fishing reels out. I got to pull this in. All right, so now we're going to blood type O basics. That is meat, fish, vegetables, fruits, olive oil. Now, olive oil, yeah, I guess you don't need, it's
I'm
not
O positive. That's
processed. It's not processed, but
Good
and
olive
then
oil. You can't
blood
just
Virgin
buy it.
olive oil, right? Virgin
Right.
olive oil.
Yeah.
Is what
and
you
then
use.
blood type A basics,
They're going to do more of a tofu, vegetables,
right.
legumes, more of a vegetarian diet, and they're going to want to stay away from dairy, wheat, corn, kidney beans. That's going to make you lose. So you can use food such as this to lose weight or gain weight. So if a type A is eating vegetables and pineapple and olive oil and soy, they're going to lose weight. But if they're eating dairy and wheat and corn and beans, kidney beans, they're going to gain weight. And there's different, beans and legumes and kidney beans, they all have different chemical makeups too. So that depends on your blood type. Like some people can handle kidney beans and some people cannot, as A's shouldn't be eating kidney beans because it inhibits their metabolism. Like, for me, I love cashews, but cashews it inhibits my metabolism. I don't metabolize them well. Walnuts work for the O blood type. You use it for fuel efficiently. And then we go into the B blood type, and that's more of a mixed diet of like meat and fruit and dairy. That B's can handle that dairy, seafood and grains, but they should stay away from corn and wheat and lentils and tomatoes and sesame seeds. And chicken can also be problematic.
Interesting. So a lot of this food stuff that we deal with today, like, I don't mean to cut you off, but it explains the gluten, a lot of people are struggling with, this kind of, I'm gluten free and I don't need to, you guys know what I'm talking about. So do you think that is related to this kind of stuff?
Most certainly. And I think sadly, they're spraying a lot of things on our food that they didn't spray on our food as kids. And I think that's having a great effect on people's health. I think it's doing something to the gluten, because I never heard of that as a kid. It's doing something to the gluten that irritates the system of a person that's gluten intolerant.
Sherry, do you think that's like even in the last 10 years, like double, triple amount than kind of what it was beforehand?
Yeah. It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. I mean, it's horrible.
Especially, I agree. Like the last 10
I feel
years.
It's that way with alcohol. I feel like alcohol by its ingredients is naturally worse than what it was 20 years ago as well. I know people just kind of blame that on getting older and hangovers are worse, but I'm telling you, there's something in it now that's different.
Right.
Interesting.
I only drink one kind of beer, and it's only sold in Wisconsin, and it's only served in Wisconsin. It's company owned, and it has 4 ingredients. If I drink that, couple of those here and there, I'm fine. But if I do like any other brand, Michelob, Bud, it gives me a headache, because I don't know. They're spraying shit on the hops,
like,
and
God
the wheat
knows. Right. God knows.
And it's
like,
big conglomerate companies that are out to make money versus the small, you're better off going to a home brewery. I think you'll get healthier beer there, but that's one thing, I mean, and then you've got that AB blood type, and they're more adapted to the modern Western diet now. But you want to stay away from that that Western diet. They're more apt to be healthier on tofu and seafood and dairy. They can handle dairy. And they should avoid alcohol, smoked and cured meats, and caffeine. So, I mean, it's really about, finding out about yourself, what works for your body. Well, I've been doing this since I was 20 years old, experimenting with food, dieting this way. I did the paleo, I did the all fat, I did the, the carb fluctuation. And this just seems like the most natural for me. And it's things that I like. So you find what you like, you find, what works for your body, and you go for it.
I'm looking over all our notes, and we're covering everything, even though I'm like going through, it's like kind of spotty. And strengths, no, strong immune system. What is this? Type B was the third type to appear. So I think this goes with type B. The strength, strong immune system. If you weaknesses, tendency towards autoimmune disease. That's what caught me, is a lot of people are dealing with autoimmune diseases now, skin disorders you hear more of. And so I was wondering, I think this goes with B, but B would be more of a Western, it's a newer. I mean, they're all old per se, but it's a newer blood type. America is a very young country if you really get down to it. It's not even 300 years old, and we have empires that are so Americans are basically one type, do you think? Or because we're so now we have so many different countries, I guess. I mean, I'm sorry, so many different people coming from different countries. Blood type, I mean, is it possible that even a new blood type would come out? Since we're all...
Yeah, most people across the world, there isn't an area where there's A or B. It's kind of spread throughout the world, but most of the people are O. Most people are O, especially like indigenous people. So, my dad is Native American. My grandpa was Native American, my great grandma was Native American. So we tend to have that O blood type. I mean, our family came from France. So they came over to Canada, and then my mom's side came up from Ireland to Prairie du Chien, but the Native Americans, they generally tend to have an O blood type. And then you're looking like my sister's, my stepsister's Swedish and Norwegian, and she tends to have A blood type. So maybe in tribes, I don't know, maybe it's split up in tribes. Maybe if you're part of a tribe. I don't know how it's split up, but I think there's it's spread evenly across the world. That'd be an interesting study to do, you could probably find it on Google or something, but
right nowadays, ChatGPT is willing to go pretty deep on stuff. The O blood type diet. This is a high protein diet that's heavy on lean meat, poultry, fish, fruits, vegetables. We've kind of gotten away from the RH blood type. It doesn't really list any kind of foods or stuff like that. Do you think is that because RH is really so similar to O?
Yeah, I would say that RH and O are pretty similar, and I think the foods would be basically the same. Yeah.
Got ya. Well, I want to kind of, I don't see my notes for the vibration. Here it is.
I got some general vicinities of blood types, where they come from globally.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Please share.
Geographic information. So blood type O is generally, as you said, the most common, but it varies by region. But concentrated South America, for example, and Europe, Scandinavia, that would be for O. And then type A is more like Australian, and then even Native American, which is kind of
Interesting.
Ironic how they come from two different parts of the world, right? Yes.
Yep.
B is more with the Asian countries, India as well.
Mm.
And let's see.
AB better be Polish because my husband's Polish and he's AB.
You get a lot of A pluses in Europe as well. As far as AB goes, which that's the rarest one, right?
I think so. I think
Let me
only
see.
7% of people are AB. My husband's an alien.
Well, so and everything that I said, doesn't that make sense about the Petri dish argument? If one blood type is Australian and Aboriginal, and the other is like Northwest Native American, right? Isn't that kind of nuts?
Have you
the
ever
AB
heard
blood type
of?
arises.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
No,
have
you
you
go
ever
first.
heard of like the 12 tribes of Dan? Are you familiar with that?
I need to look it up there.
Okay. Well, originally there was 12 tribes, and they got dispersed all over the country. And they, they were all, brothers or cousins. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But yeah, look up the tribe of Dan and how they got dispersed across, the entire, I guess, continent at that time.
I certainly will. Yep.
Yeah, another interesting, useless fact.
AB is rare in the sense that A is rare and B is rare, and that is just the byproduct of both of those mating together, an A and a B.
Okay.
So that
and I'm interested
those are
in knowing
two of the lesser ones, and then when you mix the two together, it makes even the lesser chance of having that. So it's
and
a genetic.
I wonder what percentage of kids get their dad's blood type versus what percent gets their mom's blood type. Because I know a lot of people who have their dad's blood type. Like I have my dad's blood type. My friend has her dad's blood type. It's like, yeah, I wonder, we could go on all day about blood types, man, because there's a lot of information to be discovered.
And there's a lot of crossing too, and there's 4 already to start with or more. I did want to, before we closed out, the food frequency stuff is really fascinating too. And if you touch on that, if you go to the second podcast with Sherry, we did get to talk about those. We just missed this part of the podcast. I think that podcast is like 24 minutes long, which makes sense because we usually try and keep our podcast 45 to an hour, but remember, people, that it's not just what you put it is about what you put into your food, but it's also what you wear in your clothing. Things have frequencies and energy, and food especially. Take it away for me, Sherry. I'm stuttering all over the place, but you know what I mean? Like meat has a frequency, vegetables. Can you talk about that for just a moment, kind of summarize that? Would that be okay?
I'd love to. So our bodies have a frequency. Our brain vibrates at 92 hertz. Our body is about 65. Food also has a vibration. So you're going to get a higher vibration with foods that are fresh and homegrown, possibly. So if a tomato from your garden has, a frequency of 10, okay, say the tomato you buy at the store is going to have a lower frequency. Okay. Because if it's been processed with sprays and this and that. So the fresher your food is, the more vibration you're going to get. Okay. So if you're putting fresh food into your body and good, wholesome food, you're going to keep your vibration up. Okay. Cancer cells vibrate at 45 hertz. So if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not drinking enough water, if you're eating fast food, if you're drinking a lot of garbage, if you're eating a lot of sugar, you're lowering your vibration in your body with food. So what's going to happen is the common cold, the vibration starts coming to life, so to speak, at 55 hertz. So if your energy level in your body drops down to 55, you become susceptible to cold because you're those type of cells are vibrating. 0 is death. So if you don't have energy, when you die and your body ceases to exist, your energy level is 0. Cancer cells vibrate at 45. So we have a pandemic or an epidemic of cancer out there, and you have to start looking at why. Okay, why? The answer is chemo all the time, but why are we getting cancer? Okay, the broad perspective. So this is your temple. This is what God gave you to survive this world. You got to take care of it. So it means shop on the outside of the store. Those foods have the highest vibrations. Everything inside is processed. It's not going to do anything for you except carbohydrate your body and raise your insulin levels and cause a lot of problems. Most foods are genetically modified. I live down in Missouri. That's where Monsanto is stationed. This is 2012. And I drove past the building. It's real creepy. They're modifying all the food. So it's genetically modified. Everything you read, genetically modified. So those are foods with low vibrations. Okay. So with that being said, what you're putting in your temple is going to be what your outcome is later on in life. Okay. Then we've got this petroleum industry that's creating clothing. I'm wearing one right now. This is not a cotton shirt, but a cotton shirt would vibrate at 1,000 hertz. This shirt's probably sucking the energy out of my body because it's made out of poly, dio, whatever. It's made out of plastic. So what you wear on your body, what you put in your body, it's all written in Leviticus if you want to, get that information. But it is being mindful. It is. It's written in there. It's what you should wear, what you should eat, what kind of meat you should eat. So I mean, and that book has stayed true for, it doesn't change. Diets change. There's lots of diets out there, but that stays true. Cloven hoofed animals that chew their cud, the fowl, the fish that have fins and scales, shrimp and lobsters are bottom feeders. So think about that when you go out to a nice dinner. They eat all the stuff on the bottom.
I know we're really not supposed to eat those.
No.
Seafood has scared me because of all that you
scales said. And fins. You can eat the scales and fins, and that's what's healthy for you. Right. So
it makes sense about the clothes too. Like I was saying to myself, how come I can't just get an old school cotton t-shirt anymore? Everything has to be this breathable plastic kind of weird stuff that's kind of stretchy and semi uncomfortable and even sometimes a little itchy maybe.
Starts stinking when you sweat it up.
Yeah.
I think you said, I think the key word would be plastic. Everything is plastic now.
Yeah.
So freaky, isn't it?
Yeah. We have to get away from that. It's not healthy.
No, if there's
just to answer this from earlier, you're equal to get both parents' blood type as a kid.
Oh, okay.
So it's a 50-50 shot?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, there's a calculator that says what you're going to get, but I don't know if I can believe this calculator because it's not, a couple of the equations aren't coming up. So as I do further investigation, it looks like it's about a split.
Huh.
Well, I just think it's cool. I just think it's all really, really neat. It's all worth looking into for yourself, to see what foods you perform well on. I have always done well on red meat. And obviously we went through the phase where red meat was really, really bad. You were supposed to just eat chicken and fish. And I like chicken and fish. I like food. I like everything. But I always noticed I go to the gym all the time and have my whole life that I always would perform better after red meat every time. Potatoes, I do well. And so when Ian got his injuries and we were eating for the last year to really heal him,
red meat,
we ate potatoes, red meat, avocados, to the point where we're sick of steak. Did you think you'd ever get? And
No.
that's all I want is eat red
Shut your
meat.
mouth.
So I don't know what to do. Look, I drank just to get 50 grams. I
Plastic.
drank plastic. I drank plastic.
I'm
Because
sorry.
like,
I
oh my
know.
God,
Sometimes it's all you can do, though.
I'm so meated out. And so I even thought to myself, maybe this is like tomorrow I'll have to fast and just, but then I'll end up drinking plastic. But I just am sick of fresh food. That's what we've been eating and eating. And then when you eat clean, it's hard to eat non-clean. Like, don't get me wrong. I had ice cream sandwiches the other night. I mean, it's not like I eat perfectly clean. I'm just saying for my main meals, it's like eggs and turkey sausage and like the breakfast sandwiches got so expensive that I started making my own, which is way better because
Right.
breakfast sandwiches are full of processed, the
Yeah.
Jimmy Dean's, whatever. And so I started making it myself. And so, yeah, but I will say I'm feeling better than I've ever felt in years from this past year of really eating we're sick of it though. Just the last couple of days too. It's really funny. Like,
I mean, it's tough. Like, I mean, because you're kind of right. I mean, how much steak and chicken can I eat in a row?
Like I had a salad tonight, and now we're even starting to mix it, like where we'll have potatoes and steak or salad, and I mean, it's just like or red meat. I mean, burger. I make hamburger with onions and like make it with a bunch of potatoes and make it like a goulash, or then I make it like a burrito. I mean, I try it every way. We eat and it's good. I like it, but like anything in life, because he had even said tonight, he goes, God, I'm actually craving chicken, and he doesn't like chicken. So it is like I didn't mean to get down on, go down that rabbit hole with myself, but I mean, find what you perform best at. And sometimes it is something as small as red meat. It doesn't have to be like meat. And
I think that's why the crock pot's so good, maybe in a way.
Yeah.
As you can just kind of put a bunch of things in it and let it go and
right.
do its thing and come back to
Vegetables,
it. Then
potatoes, meat. Yeah. The crock pot is great. We're getting into that season now. I do a lot of burritos. So we do a lot of taco seasoning on turkey. I use turkey burger for that. So we do eat other things besides. And then of course I make those little chicken wings, the little not wings, but the little tiny ones like you get at the bar, the little miniature
tenders, nuggets,
whatever. Yeah, there's not a lot of meat on those. So yeah, not chicken tenders. No, like the real chicken wings where you have the little tiny leg or the little tiny wing. Yeah. But they can get pretty expensive.
Yes.
The drummies. That's what I was trying to say.
Air fry those. That's the good way.
Yes,
to do that.
I do.
Oh,
I
yes.
air fry those. I've gotten
What are you good with the air fryer, Sheridan? I mean, the concept of air frying. You good with that?
No, I don't have an air fryer. I just have a pressure cooker.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not up on that bad.
What's
that?
Close. I think they're relatives anyway in the cooking world.
Oh, that pressure.
Yeah, I think the fryer is kind of fancier. Are you? Have you seen what the latest diet fad is? It's red meat and eggs and cottage cheese. Like that's like and raw organs. Like, have you seen that?
Ew.
The latest diet fad that's
no.
I can't eat raw organs.
I can't either, but I've heard I
I
heard that they're really healthy, like liver and all that stuff. Yeah, I am a little piggy. I can eat anything in the world, but that one freaks me out, and that's mental. I just can't do it.
I think I'm ready to try out the butcher shop, to be honest. I want to give the butcher shop a fair shake over to the grocery store.
Oh, you should. I heard it's pretty reasonable too. Like people really shy away from it thinking that it's really too expensive. And that's in any town. I think that's not true. I think you can get deals in there just like anywhere else. I agree with you. I did get some salmon tonight. So, and I got salmon from the guy was fishing off of somewhere in Michigan. So it's
It's wild caught,
fresh
wild
caught.
caught salmon, which is the
It's
only type of
wild
salmon you
caught.
should eat.
I know, because now the fish is getting a really bad name too.
No
So I
carbs.
did
Don't eat
actually
any
get
farm
wild
fish.
caught salmon. That'll get Ian through this because he's like, "God,
Yeah.
even tonight, like I made a mistake. It wasn't a good cut, but he was like, Mom, I hate to be that person, but I can't eat another bite of this. And I looked at Maverick. I was like, Maverick, it
He's
looks
like, "I'll
like you
do it."
scored. He was like, cool. Okay. All right.
I got this.
I know, yeah,
I'm
and
super
he'll be excited. I'll get home and I'll cut it up for him and give it to him in his food. Like I'll use it and just mix it in his food for a couple of days. He'll be having little treats of steak. But well, Sherry, thanks so much for coming and spending time with us again. I appreciate it. I knew that it was going to be fun. I always enjoyed talking to you, and it's so fun with this kind of stuff. It's educational. Everybody kind of gets to interject their stuff because it is almost like a history lesson along with it. You know,
It
we got to
is.
get into.
And there's so much we don't know. Like, look at all the facts Steve came up with. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
how can one person consume that much info? We need each other. We need each other to
right,
bounce
for
ideas off each
real.
other. And
Yeah, get out when you're
inform
sitting
each
around at night. When you're sitting around at night, go to YouTube and look up Birdie,
Birdie.
the remote
other.
viewer.
I'm looking at Birdie. I'm gonna look
Yeah.
at
Oh, it's beyond fascinating. Have you ever seen anything abnormal in the skies down there, Sherry? I know you're kind of off the grid a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some weird lightning storms, but nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, I see, stars moving, but I think those are satellites. I don't know. There's, it's interesting. I got a telescope
Mhm.
and I don't know how to use it. So I need to sit down.
Oh yeah,
and read
start looking up more
things,
for sure.
and then I'm gonna check out the night skies because it's beautiful
Well,
out here.
they
You
have
can see
apps about satellites and stuff, so you can tell what's flying over your head and stuff.
Especially in your
Really?
area.
See,
Yeah.
we need Steve. We need Steve's.
I know. Oh, Steve's into this
He's
stuff
like an
for sure.
encyclopedia. I love it.
Especially like with
Oh,
Alien
well,
and stuff like that.
it's season 2 of Inquisition Unknown ? Is coming up very soon.
Ooh.
Have you ever seen a ghost, Sherry?
A ghost?
I have not. I've seen an angel,
Really?
and I have messed with a Ouija board, and
Oh.
I have experienced demonic activity.
Mm.
So I tend to sway away from
The Ouija board
occult
is creepy.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are not
Mess with
good.
that.
I believe in
Yeah.
Sizzle, have
elements.
you ever seen a ghost?
I'm gonna say yes. I think it was a ghost. I don't really know what it was. It was an energetic being of some sort. And I remember I reacted like this. Well, in YouTube you can see me, but we're on an audio. I kind of was like looking under the table, like looking around to see if I was really seeing this, if like some light was coming in and it was being a projector or something. I'll never forget my reaction when I saw it. And I can picture it as you ask me, as clear as a bell in my brain. You just don't forget stuff like that. And so,
Right.
yeah, I want to say it was a ghost. Unfortunate, I will tell you this, it wasn't anybody I knew. It was a total
How'd you know?
stranger. It was an Asian total stranger. So it wasn't
Wow.
even the same ethnicity as me. So it didn't make any sense of why he or she would be in my life, but he
passing through.
said that I was doing everything correct and I was to be proud of myself.
That sounds like a guardian angel to me.
So it was a
Right.
very kind being, but yeah, nothing glamorous at all. It was really pretty freaked out. And then I feel like I've seen demonic activity, not feel like I've seen it.
Like, what's the activity that you saw, Sherry, when
Oof.
you played with the Ouija board?
Can still get creeps.
Is that
Oh my gosh.
or like-
We were in a circle, me and my sisters and my cousins, and we were in a circle, and like we were playing, we were, I don't know, summoning something, and not
Ugh.
only was it already a
even
fact
like
that my aunt and
talking about
uncle's
it.
house was haunted? But then we were starting to
Right.
do we did a seance. And so like my sister was like, she started crying and started feeling really weird, like something was trying to take over her body. And then there was a shelf when we broke the circle, when we broke our hands, there was shit on the shelf above my cousin's head, and it just all got wiped off the shelf. And then there were other times where later in high school I tried it again and again. My friend lived in a haunted house. And we would say, you know, like, if you're here, Steven, that was his name, you know, move something up in the attic, and a box would shuffle across the floor above us. So it was like, you know, I haven't touched a Ouija board since. And as a matter of fact, I'm terrified of that. I have no,
I don't even like talking about it.
no more curiosity there.
Yeah.
No. What about you,
Yeah,
Steve?
it's so I would say yes, but my sister and brother are much more in tune to it. Where I have like kind of like woken up and the bed's been like at a 45-degree angle.
Ooh.
And I'm just laying there. We've had the same dream, me and my brother, of both kind of like getting beat up, where you couldn't move and you're kind of getting beat up by like a ghost or something.
Wow.
Or interdimensional being.
My son has that. I feel
have
like
you had that dream before? I feel like a lot of people have had
my
that dream.
son has. I think it's almost male. You hear that a lot in men, how they have a dream where they're being held down. I know, it's creepy as
Eat your
heck.
veggies, keep the ghosts away.
No, like there's evil in many, many forms,
Right.
and you can resist it for sure. It's not gonna take you over.
I appreciate you saying that, because you really can. Like you really can. It doesn't you don't have to be afraid of it. I am afraid of it. And yeah, you can resist
Well,
it.
it's a
You
symbol.
can.
I mean, so this sounds crazy, but you know, once in a while, out of nowhere, you'll just get some kind of random thought in your head, like, you know, do I have the capability of killing somebody if I wanted to? And that's just nothing but pure evil at work getting into your thoughts.
Well,
Literally.
it does. Like when
Literally.
I had a demon
So,
tell
no,
me
I'm not
to kill
killing
myself.
anybody. No.
Yeah, like they'll try to get like it's. But I don't even want to talk about it anymore, because this is a light and fluffy sizzling podcast, and we have gone down a not so sizzling road. It is Halloween though, so we could it is Halloween, so
spooky October.
Yes, we did get into a little spookiness, but let's pull ourselves out of this. And I want you to come back again. Now you're getting to be a regular. Yeah, you'll be like the one guest that's like a regular, like they used to always have on the Tonight Show.
Right? I'd be honored.
I'm trying to think who was the guy that was always on Saturday Night Live. He was cute. Alan.
Are you saying I'm cute?
I hate that. Yeah, no. You are cute. You're super cute. But yeah, like Saturday Night Live always had regulars.
Smack 'em, yak 'em.
Yeah, to do whatever that was. That was cool. All right. Well, I think we're hitting an hour and we're just doing silly stuff. So I don't know if we're hitting an hour. My timer went.
Here, I'll just play your outro song. That way you have no choice. How about that?
Okay, Sherry. I think we're getting cut off.
All right. Have a blessed life.
Talk to you soon.
Love your life.
Oh,
thanks, Sherry. All right, Sizzle. Good job.
Thanks. That was fun. I knew it would be. It is kind of cool that we went down the alien and ghost track right before Halloween. That works out. Yep. Didn't even plan it. We got more guests coming. Oh, what a night.